Making candles is a fun hobby. Many people like making candles at home. The first step is melting the wax. This step is very important for your candle. If you melt your wax the right way, your candles will look great. It sets the stage for a nice finished product. We all want our candles to look good. We also want them to smell nice and burn well. So, starting with correctly melted wax is key for your success in candle making. This guide will help you learn how to melt wax safely and properly for the best results. Why is melting wax so important, you might ask yourself? Well, the way you melt the wax affects almost everything about your candle. It changes how your candle looks in the end. If the wax gets too hot, it can change its color. It might turn yellow or brown, which is not nice for a pretty candle. Proper melting keeps the wax clean and clear. This means your candle will look pure and beautiful. It also helps any colors you add to mix in smoothly. Proper melting also affects how your candle burns. A well-melted wax will let your candle burn smoothly and evenly. This means your candle will last longer. It will also help the candle release its scent better if you add fragrance oils. If the wax gets too hot, it might not burn well. It could burn too fast or create a tunnel down the middle. So, taking care when melting your wax is very important. It ensures a steady flame and a warm glow. Learning to melt wax the right way is also about your safety. Hot wax can be dangerous if you are not careful. It can splash and cause burns if it touches you. If it gets too hot, some wax can even catch fire. We want candle making to be safe and fun for everyone, so understanding the safe methods is very important. This guide will show you safe ways to handle your wax. It will help you make many wonderful candles without any worry. Many people might think about their kitchen stove for melting wax. They see the burner on the cooktop and think it looks easy. Just put the wax in a simple pot directly on the stove. It seems like it could be a quick way to get the wax melted. Some beginner candle makers might try this method without knowing better. They might not be aware of the serious risks involved in doing this. It is a common mistake to make when you are just starting out. But this kind of direct heat is not good for your delicate wax, and it is not good for your safety either. We need to understand exactly why this is a bad idea. Using a direct flame from your cooktop is very risky when working with wax. Wax can heat up much faster than you might think it can. The bottom of the pot that is sitting directly on the burner gets extremely hot. This intense direct heat can easily scorch the wax at the bottom. Scorched wax will smell burnt and very unpleasant. This bad smell can completely ruin your candles, even if you add very nice fragrances to them. The wax might also become discolored, losing its natural beauty and clarity. You surely want your candles to smell lovely, not like something that has been burnt on the stove. The biggest danger of melting wax directly on a cooktop is the risk of fire. Wax is a flammable material. This means it can catch fire if it gets too hot. If the wax reaches its specific flashpoint temperature, the vapors it releases can ignite from the heat source. This can happen very quickly and suddenly when you are using direct heat. A pot of burning wax is a very serious fire hazard in your home. A wax fire can spread rapidly and be very difficult to put out safely. You should never use water on a wax fire as it will make the fire much worse and spread it. Your safety is always the most important thing. Besides the alarming risk of fire, direct heat also damages the wax itself. Even if the wax does not actually catch fire, its overall quality will certainly suffer. The very high heat from a direct source can break down the delicate structure of the wax. This can affect how well it holds any fragrance oils you add. It can also change how the wax sets when it cools down and hardens. You might end up with candles that are brittle, or have ugly cracks, or do not look smooth. To make good quality candles, you really need to treat your wax gently. The direct heat of a cooktop is just too harsh for this delicate candle-making material. Different types of wax are like different kinds of people in some ways. They each have their own needs and preferences. This is especially true when melting them. Each type of wax has a best temperature for melting. Knowing these temperatures is very important for good results. It helps you melt the wax perfectly without damaging it. It keeps the wax happy, and your candles will be beautiful. Always use a thermometer to check the wax temperature. This way, you control the melting process. Let's look at some common waxes. Paraffin wax is very common for making candles. It makes bright, colorful candles. Paraffin wax melts best between 140 degrees Fahrenheit and 175 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 60 degrees Celsius to 79 degrees Celsius. Do not let paraffin wax get hotter than this range. If paraffin gets too hot, it can lose its good qualities. It might also release bad fumes. So, always watch your thermometer when melting paraffin wax. Soy wax is a natural wax made from soybeans. Many people like soy wax because it is eco-friendly. It also burns cleanly and slowly. Soy wax melts best at a higher temperature than paraffin. Aim for 170 degrees Fahrenheit to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 76 degrees Celsius to 85 degrees Celsius. Soy wax can be sensitive to high heat. If you overheat soy wax, it can get a frosty look when it cools. So melt soy wax slowly to the right temperature. Beeswax is another natural wax, loved for its qualities. It comes from honeybees and often smells like honey. Beeswax is harder than paraffin or soy wax. It needs more heat to melt properly. Beeswax melts best between 145 degrees Fahrenheit and 175 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 63 degrees Celsius to 79 degrees Celsius. Be careful not to overheat beeswax. If it gets too hot, it can lose its color and smell. Always melt beeswax slowly and stir it gently as it melts. We know that using direct heat from a stove is bad for wax. So, what are the safe ways to melt your wax for candle making? The best way is using a double boiler. A double boiler might sound fancy, but it is very simple to use. It gives gentle, indirect, and even heat to your wax. This means the wax will not burn or get too hot too fast. It is the safest way to protect your wax, and most importantly, using a double boiler reduces the risk of fire. A double boiler works by using steam. You have a larger pot with some water in it, usually an inch or two, then you place a smaller pot, called a pouring pot, inside the larger one. The wax you want to melt goes into this smaller pot. The water in the bottom pot heats up and starts to boil. The steam from this boiling water gently heats the smaller pot. This gentle heat melts the wax slowly and evenly. The wax never touches the direct heat from the stove. You can buy a special pouring pot or use a heat-proof bowl over a saucepan of water. Some people ask about using a microwave to melt wax. Melting wax in a microwave can be done, but you must be very careful if you choose this method. This method is best for melting only small amounts of wax. Use a container that is microwave safe. Heat the wax in short bursts, maybe for only 30 seconds at a time, using medium power. After each burst, take the wax out and stir it well. This helps it melt evenly and prevents hot spots. Always use a thermometer. No matter which method you choose, always use a good thermometer. A candy thermometer or a special candle-making thermometer will work well. Stir your wax gently and slowly as it melts. This helps to spread the heat evenly through the wax. It makes sure that all the wax melts at the same rate. Try to avoid splashing any hot wax, as it can cause burns. It is a good idea to wear an apron, and maybe even gloves, for safety. Slow and steady wins the race when melting wax. This careful approach ensures your candles are high quality and beautiful.